Films Online. Talking Films Online, or TFO in short, is an informal coming together of academics, teachers, students, researchers, filmmakers, and cinephiles interested in cinema. More importantly, interested in talking and writing about cinema. The online group came together quite spontaneously during the pandemic and lockdown in June 2020. Dr. Geeta Vishwanath and I have been coordinating the activities of TFO since its inception with people like Sanjay Kumar, Sridhar Modugu, K. Phaniraj, Ajanta Sarkar, Tarakeshwar VB, Yagnashri, Rasha, Madhurima, and many others who join the weekly discussions and enhance the quality of the discussion. So far, we have organized 204 online events, which include weekly discussions on a pre-decided film, besides a few month-long film festivals and discussions. For instance, this year in January, we had a Farmers Film Festival, and in March, we had a series of discussions on Kumar Shani's films as a way of paying tribute to him. And now in the month of September, we are having a Kannada film month, where on all Saturdays of September, we are discussing Kannada films. Sometimes personnel from the film industry, such as directors, cinematographers, actors, join our weekly discussions. Filmmakers often make available their films exclusively for TFO members to watch by generously sharing links to their film. And they have also joined the discussion. We have had directors like Jayant Cherian, Girish Kasarvalli, Adur Gopal Krishnan, Aparna Sen, Anjali Montero, and KP Jayashankar, Karan Bali, and Amol Palekar. And one of the producers of the film that we recently discussed, Amala, is also here with us this evening. During June this year, to mark the 4th anniversary of TFO, we had organized the 4th smartphone short film competition for students between 18 to 25 years of age, and we had a grand award ceremony where the winners of the competition were announced. Soon, we are going to organize the first TFO International Seminar on Indian Cinema in the Digital Era, Continuities and Discontinuities, in collaboration with FCT Baroda, and this is just upon us. It's on September 30th and October 1st this year. So this is our first offline event, and it will be happening in Baroda. Our aim is to get a conversation going around cinema and to get as many people involved in the process as possible. With all our events till now being online, anyone and everyone interested in cinema is welcome to our forum. We have a blog, talkingfilmsonline.wordpress.com, where we encourage all kinds of writings on cinema. We also have a YouTube channel called Talking Films Online, where you can watch some of our discussions. I request you all to please mute yourselves. Please mute yourselves. Yeah, thank you. We have a YouTube channel called Talking Films Online, where you can watch some of our discussions. We are on Facebook. TFO is a private group on Facebook. And we're also on WhatsApp as well. That's where we share our weekly film discussion information. Today, as a part of the Kannada movie month on TFO, this September, we will discuss the Kannada film HADINELENTU, or 17ers. The director of the film, Prithvi Konanur, is here with us. He has joined the discussion. Very warm welcome to you, Prithvi Konanur. Prithvi is an award-winning writer, director, and producer, a former software professional. He's an alumnus of New York Film Academy, Los Angeles. His films have been screened, nominated, and have won at many international festivals, such as at Busan, at Prague, Hong Kong Film Festival, Mumbai, and Indian International Film Festival of India, Goa, and many more. His films, Railway Children and Pinky Ellie, have been bought by Channel 4 UK for UK and Ireland telecast. His film 17ers had its premiere at the Busan International Film Festival. His latest project, Rashid, was selected at APM 2022. The discussion on the film this evening will be initiated by Dr. Rashmi M. Rashmi, again, a very warm welcome and in a way, welcome back to TFO. Rashmi is an assistant professor of English serving the Department of Collegiate Education at Government First Grade College, Kushalnagar. In addition to teaching English, she has also designed and taught courses on workspace communication, digital etiquettes for 21st century learners, digital media awareness, etc. As part of her andragogical experiments, she designs and creates self-learning e-content, some of which has been featured in Karnataka Learning LMS, Learning Management Systems. She's also a Google certified educator. She's been actively involved in academic administration, coordinating the IQAC at the college level for the past 6 years. She also serves the Election Commission of India as an assembly level master trainer for presiding officers. She has a PhD degree from NIAS, Bengaluru. Her research interests include digital media technologies, higher education and technocracy, Indian myths and archetypal psychology. Her other interests include Carnatic music, trekking, and table tennis. She currently resides in Kushalnagar, Kodu. A very warm welcome to all of you who have joined this evening. And it's now over to you, Rashmi.
Thank you. And I thank TFO and Dr. Nikhila for providing me a platform to share my response to this film. First of all, thanks the director, Konanur, for giving us such a gripping film. I clearly see the instructional value already. I would want to screen it in front of the students, and it's not something that we do often. So thanks for such a gripping and a very socially realistic cinema. The film, in my opinion, is the most accurate description of a teenage scandal involving the mobile phone. The characters are realistically depicted. The responses are very real life-like. The dramatic quality of the film is enhanced by its likeness to reality. The issues I'm flagging for today's discussion reflect my questions about the subject of the film. Some of these questions are questions I have encountered as a college teacher, and my job here is to just raise the questions. I don't in any way claim to answer them with any finality. Instead, I offer my opinionated response. Let's together think through some of these questions. The first thing that I noticed is, in my opinion, the most common response in Indian society to adolescent sexuality, desire, and love, for the want of better term, is to either criminalize or penalize it. Law criminalizes and society penalizes. This is very well brought out in the film. There has never been a saner response to it. We are resistant to the idea that love can happen between teenagers. Leave alone admitting something as profound as love, we vulgarize the whole thing often. In some instances, it becomes voyeuristic fun for scandal mongers. Video gets shown over and over again in the name of addressing the issue. Those who are supposed to do something about the bad publicity ironically add to it. Shaming teenagers for their sexual behavior and discussing their sex lives or someone else's sex life becomes a cheap thrill for the jobless staff in the educational institutions. In all our efforts, we never move beyond the criminalization or the penalization of adolescent sexual behavior. Another point I want to flag is teenage psychology and poor impulse control. The students are not necessarily unaware of the implications of sharing something as sensitive as this, but they do it anyway because they don't foresee the consequences or fear them enough. The motive of the boy, Hari, is to prove to the friends that he has done something. He's incapable of thinking the more serious stakes for the girl in this case. These very same adolescents don't fall prey to scams involving money, but this issue is a trap for many, many teenagers. So it's not their understanding of the social and digital media that is flawed, but it is something else. There's also a troubled understanding of consent. The girl shared the image or video with her boyfriend, but the boyfriend violates the trust and her privacy by sharing it with others without her consent. Research has shown that reputational impact of female and male nudity in the digital media are very different. And often boys and girls are aware of the difference. Male nudity and circulation of male body images can take the meaning of daredevilry or whatever it can be, but female nudity will have a negative impact invariably. Boys solicit nudes from their girlfriends so that they can share them with their peers to gain popularity, status, or sometimes an image of outward coolness. Moral sanctions in the digital public sphere are more for girls than it is for the boys, which we actually can infer from Michael Salters and Dana Boyd's research. This also plays out in the movie very well. We see principal.
Rashmi, sorry to interrupt. People
Yeah.
are messaging me that the audio is a little low. Maybe you can speak into your mic.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe I can actually increase the volume. Is it better?
Maybe if you speak, we'll know.
Is it better now?
Yes, yes, much better, much better.
Okay, so Vice Principal Sita's reaction right at the beginning is a testament to this. What the point that I was trying to make is like how moral sanctions are more for girls than they are for the boys for similar kinds of behavior. Right. So Vice Principal Sita, right at the beginning of the film, when she speaks first to Deepa, she says like, "Neenu avnannu haal ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ." Right. So it becomes a girl's burden to kind of bear. Like in real life, neither parents nor teachers address the issue head on. Both parties skirt the issue. The first response by Hari's parents is one of denial. Nan maga anthavnalla. ಸಂಧ್ಯಾವನ್ನೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. That's the classic reaction we get. The first response by Jessie, sometimes I feel like, it's not Deepa's mother, but Jessie who kind of takes on that parental role in this particular instance. When Deepa shares what happened is, Hogli bidu, neen safe agidda. Right. Neither denial nor complacence helps in such instances. Hari's parents refuse to accept a part of his personality, whereas Deepa gets the message that it's okay to do what she did. Neither of them is made aware of the actual problem. Instead, they are made to feel guilt and shame without educating them about the ramifications of the issue at the hand. The love and desire between them are not at all addressed. It just stays between them in their private conversations over the phone or in the corridors. Another point that I feel is important to bring up is counseling. In the entire movie, counseling is brought up in a very dismissive tone, first by Mohan, the boy's uncle, as a remedial action that would be suggested by the court as a punishment in case the boy gets to the court for sharing the video. Generally, families do not discuss such things at home. If it's a boy involved in something like this, the entire thing becomes a mistake he can afford to indulge in because he's young. And if it's a girl, then cut her wings, make her lose the privileges, sit at home, get her married off as soon as possible. The boy's parents don't talk with him. They talk about him or about his problems and his particular situation right now. They're concerned only about his educational prospects, but do not even think of his emotional well-being. The girl's mother wants to know if the boy will marry her. The mother just wants to salvage the situation that has already gone beyond her control. If marriageability is the main concern for the girl's side, the boy's educational and career prospects are the main concern for the boy's side in the wake of this particular incident. At the college end, the counselor is conspicuous by her absence, both in the committee and in the college, for any informed intervention. It's too much to expect it from such a college, perhaps. Girls projected as a bad example to other students, hence the urgent need to take some serious action against her. She will be an example for all wrongdoers. This is something that I have also encountered in my experience as a college teacher. Sita states this very clearly when the maths teacher proposes that they should warn both of them and let them be. We rarely punish people for what they have done, but make them symbols of wrong that's done before them. This is something that I want to highlight again and again. Like Deepa is punished not because of what she does, but she becomes a symbol who carries the kind of wrongdoing that happens before her, or even she's not complicit in many of those things. Right. In the film, the girl has to bear the brunt of this alarming practice that continues to this day in many educational institutions. Our education system, particularly mass education, hardly leaves any space for serious conversations around adolescent sexuality and desire. Anyone who has worked in an education institution, high school onwards, can say how routinely such incidents are expected to happen. However, institutions hardly take any serious measures to meaningfully address it. In a prudish culture such as ours, sex education is missing in the whole educational setup. Our youngsters are left with no guidance and direction. No wonder their urges and hormones dictate their decisions. The maths teacher represents this very well in the movie. She's more interested in getting students to focus on and cram the syllabus within four walls than allow them an opportunity to genuinely engage with what's happening around them. But students are affected by many things outside the curriculum and the narrow academic interests. Most often, the message that's passed on to them is don't bring it up, we don't have space for it. Even the so called open spaces do not address the conflict seriously. Conflict avoidance seems to be the best approach everywhere. Discipline the students when they want to participate and involve, silence their voice, pretend that nothing's happening. This seems to be our general approach. A few students towards the end of the movie want the truth out in the naive hope that truth will somehow result in justice. They tell the investigating police officer that such instances routinely occur in the college, and this is not a standalone incident. But they are not heard by any authority. When the vice principal asks what students really want, they tell her that they want them to acknowledge that such things happen in the college. Just that, nothing fancy. To which we see the maths teacher again reacting in a very predictable way. ಇದೇನ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಾ ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗುಂಪು ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ಕೆ, right? That particular sentence hit me very strongly because that comment also made me very proud, because I teach in a government college. With all our problems, we are still an open space for airing any serious issue, and this continues to be the case. People want power but don't understand what it entails. There are two kinds of administrative leadership that's widely prevalent in educational institutions or even elsewhere. The first kind evades responsibility and causes administrative failure. The leader is an indecisive authority figure. Badrinath represents the first kind. The second kind grabs power for prestige and status. Sita represents the second kind. Both leaders are ill prepared to handle the real life challenges that the post poses. Principal Badrinath wants to sit in the chair because it was cozy there. The moment things start to get complicated, it doesn't want to continue anymore. Sita is an opportunistic administrator, can say one thing in front and turn the entire situation into her advantage behind back. She's the kind of leader who wants the position for power and prestige and is secretly ambitious. Although she doesn't grab power outrightly or doesn't deliberately look to escape responsibility, she's also not someone who's competent to handle the conflict or take informed decisions herself. Incidents such as these definitely affect the reputation of the institution and by extension, admission numbers. So when such things happen, even in our college, we see admission numbers going down, and the bad publicity has an adverse impact on how the institution is viewed locally. Right? Some of the decisions taken by the administration to ban the mobile phone use on campus or punish those who further circulate the video may look appropriate to curb the short-term effects, but they're bound to fail in the long term. As a college teacher, I can relate to such measures. We are also often placed in the same situation and we take similar decisions with similar effect. There is no way we can mitigate the effects of digital media notoriety by banning phones or punishing those who share the controversial content. It will eventually have a very Brechtian effect. You ban the books, they get circulated more. Why does the committee not have a student representative or an external representative? This is something that's very glaring, right? It's also how committees across educational institutions operate. There's a fundamental flaw in the protocol in which it is constituted. It lacks a student representative, one thing. It is such a realistic representation that a student member is even nominally removed from the person's absent completely, which is what happens in many committee meetings. The committee is aware of the caste angle, but goes ahead with its decision to expel Deepa alone first. They are aware of how a decision such as that will be read, but choose to ignore it anyway. It looks like there is an agenda, but we never know what it is from the plot line. Why do the board president's motives remain obscure? What's the thread there? I'm curious, and I would want to know this from the director himself why the board president wants Deepa out. Right? We have a play safe faculty in the physical director. The coach means well and he wants to help Deepa, but when the whole issue goes to the court, he hesitates. Very representative of well-meaning faculty who will withdraw at the last instance when stakes are very high. Until the stakes get very high, they're ready to champion the cause of justice. When the police get involved at the direction of the judge, we get to see the arbitrariness of the very laws and the problems with their literal interpretation. So this is something that strikes me more as a government employee, because we always see how rules themselves are problematic in the first place, and rule abiding behavior is not necessarily a good thing to do in such instances. This is the reason why perhaps jurisprudence is so essential, to not take rules to the extremes. A few months plus or minus makes someone a victim or an offender. The police officer should have used his discretion, but he doesn't. He implicates the girl because the judge accuses him of the dereliction of duty. This is so typical of a government employee who does not do the normal line of duty, but in presence of an authority will go an extra mile to prove the point. Young men and courage. This is something, again, that kind of speaks to my experience of the space and such issues. How can we understand Hari's choices? His choices cease to be his from the time his parents get involved. But towards the end, he makes a choice not to help his lover. This is what we see in cases such as this, even at my college. Routinely, the man saves himself, and the girl always thinks of saving the man until the very end, even when he sees her ruin in doing so. Deepa wants Hari's name taken out of the FIR. She doesn't reveal that he is the person who shared the video in the first place and is the root cause of all the problem and suffering they together face. She protects him until the end, but when it is time to save her, he plainly tells her he can't give a statement in the police station to save her. This is something I never understand about girls Deepa's age. Why do they protect boys who choose to harm them? So this puzzles me to this day. So that's more or less something that I want to flag. And even the feistiness of the girl, sometimes it feels like it's a misplaced feistiness, because there is also something of a sort of contempt beneath her, the way in which she wants to transcend her social situation. At the same time, she's also a kind of girl who is ashamed of who she is and where she comes from. And this is very evident in the way she kind of, interacts with her parents. And this has a way of, probably the way she gets implicated in those things. I also see similar attitude with our own students. And it always puzzles me. It's like, is this why they get into certain things, problematic things? Yeah. Those are the questions that I leave you with. And yeah.
Okay, Rashmi, thanks for your detailed reading of the film, the characters, their motivations, and also for bringing in your own experience as a teacher of the students probably the same age as the protagonist of HADINELENTU. Prithvi Konanur, would you like to come in now, or should we open it out for discussion? Would you like to hear others' responses, or would you like to respond to what Rashmi has had to say?
You see, once I make the film, actually, even before I make the film, even at the stage of writing, I know that there will be different, opinions and thoughts and different interpretations, and I welcome them all, because if a film can lead to discussions, then there is no, better result. So any interpretation, even opposing interpretations, are welcome. It's all good. I mean, so we can definitely go ahead with the discussions. Others can express their thoughts.
Okay. So the film is open for discussion. Anyone who wants to come in, please unmute yourself so I know that you want to speak. Yes, Geeta, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Rashmi, for giving us this, posing several questions about the film. And I'm so happy that Prithvi is here with us, because it is a film that I absolutely loved. I found it profoundly moving. And I think just like there is a perfect murder, there's also a perfect film. And I would really like to call HADINELENTU that perfect film. Now, Rashmi did not really bring in the question of caste, but for me, I thought the caste was so central to this narrative. And making a film on caste is really difficult, and because it is fraught with all kinds of, complexities and all that. And I thought this film actually aces it with such nuanced portrayals of the character and the story, the narrative itself, because it actually engages with really, those very profound questions of what it means to be upper caste on the one hand and lower caste on the other hand in contemporary times. And it is asking questions like, can a young Dalit girl even aspire for upward social mobility through education? And it seems to be doing this in really remarkably intimate and seemingly, quotidian ways. Like her own sister is complaining about her colored hair. So, it makes you feel, I mean, that is such a poignant moment, because Deepa cannot even be like any normal teenager, in this consumerist world where physical looks form such an integral part of a young girl's consciousness. Or, when her mother is asking her to join her in the cooking in the government school, she says, "Naan ee tara kelsa madalla." So, it is so I differ a bit from Rashmi's interpretation. It is defiance, yes, but defiance coming from, a place, a space of extreme kinds of oppression, because she actually wants to break through these kind of occupations that she sees her mother and perhaps other members of her family engaged in. And she's actively looking forward to, what goes by the term white collar jobs. So I mean, like, I thought it was an absolutely, perfect film. Thank you.
Thank you, Geeta. Yes, it's such a fan, moment to actually watch the film and have the director here. Nandini, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I just want to add to what Geeta said. I think, Prithvi, it really is an extremely important film. It's not a very good film, which it is, but it's a very important film to actually show around. Because I think what is at the heart of this film, I mean, one is that I think I really, really, really want to commend you for having brought out all kinds of shades of gray. And I think that that is so important, because we're talking about, young people's expressions of their sexuality. This has become something that education institutions, family, or other social institutions simply don't know how to deal with them. That's one question. And you brought that out absolutely really well. And I have to say, the acting was just superb. I mean, one just almost got a sense that it was a documentary. I mean, the college teachers, the vice principal, the principal, I mean, the acting was superb. And they brought out, I felt, what this film really says, that we have to engage with questions that are more complicated. So it's not just one of, gender and sexuality. You bring in caste to show how all these are actually intertwined. The question of class also comes in. The boy is clearly from a different class. And so you're bringing in these dynamics of class, caste, gender, and the way in which they are entangled with each other, you know. And that's why I think the film is really remarkable, and it really needs to be shown around, you know, in education institutions. Because I'm also, you know, I've been teaching at that level for years. And one of the things that I really have a problem with, and I thought this film really speaks to very well, is this whole question of simultaneously treating these young adults as children and at the same time criminalizing them. So it's if they express something that is not quite, you know, that adults can't understand, they're not in touch with what is going on with young people, then they tend to make out as if it's criminal behavior. I think the question of the 18, and I think that that was such a brilliant thing. I mean, I felt that that was so good, because under POCSO, that's exactly what the state is doing. It's taking young people's autonomy away from them and saying that if you, as they say, the lovely word they use, indulge in these kinds of behavior, then if you are under 18, if there is somebody who is over 18 and there's somebody who's under 18, the person who is over 18 becomes the perpetrator, and the one who's under 18 becomes the victim. And this is the way in which childhood itself is being defined, right? Both globally, but especially with POCSO, this has happened. So that last scene, to me, I mean, it was not just about caste, it was not just about gender. It was a way of this girl actually taking that moment and saying, yes, I am defying the state. You want, you know, the boy has ditched me, the institutions are against me. I don't want this life. I want to get, you know, out of this life. And yes, I'm 18. If you want to see me as a perpetrator because I express in what was a consensual originally way my sexuality, then so be it. And I think that was the end was absolutely fabulous. And I really think, again, Prithvi, I mean, the nuances you've brought out, even the fact that the education institution, actually you haven't made it black and white, which is what makes it so nice. You know, you could have, I mean, easily the principal and vice principal and the other teachers can be made out to be the really evil ones, you know. The parents of the boy, who are the upper caste parents, could, but you can see the confusion and the pain. They're not just unable, this society is simply unable to understand what young people want. And within that, there is all this, you know, this mix of all these things which the various social vectors that are just coming together and colliding, and, you know, and each scene brings it out. So congratulations, it's an excellent film. And I really, really hope that we can take this film around and show it and have discussions, because it's a film that actually we should have discussions on, you know, with young people, with, you know, in educational institutions. So once again, I mean, and fabulous acting. I mean, I really have to say, really, and that's also the director's call. And so congratulations on that as well. Thank you for this film. It's simply excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, Prithvi, please go ahead.
No, that's all. I just wanted to say thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone else?
Yes.
Oh, yes, Fabian, please go ahead. Fabian, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Fabian.
Hello,
All the way from
everybody.
Paris.
Thank you very much. Really, I enjoyed this film. It was, you know, since I participate to TFO beautiful sessions and a number of beautiful films that I've seen. This one might be one of the best film I ever saw. And I want to congratulate Prithvi Konanur, because it's a beautiful film and it's so intelligent. It's intelligent because it's easy to speak about complexity in a book, in a scientific article. But complexity in a film is it's a very complicated task. and the dialogue is so good. The direction of acting, the actors, they look like it. Someone said before that it was almost like a documentary. The actors are so natural. The way they are directed is so natural that it's like a documentary. And it's really interesting because it's blurring the lines between documentary and fiction. And I've been teaching for many years, and all the time I was asking I was thinking of this poor professor, poor children, and poor parents, and I found myself crying twice during this film. Especially, it was heartbreaking. All characters are heartbreaking, and especially the father of the boy. He's hiding himself in the toilet and he's crying. When he cried, I start crying, and then I'm very difficult to cry. I don't cry easily on film, and especially films that are not completely French. When it's not my mother tongue, I don't get emotional. But I got very emotional, and I thought, God, this is directed in a very beautiful way. It's so intelligent. So I don't want to be too long, but just I want to underline this intelligence that you made in this film, and this film should be shown everywhere, not only in India. We don't have caste in France, but we have social class, and it's different, but it's the same kind of violence between the people. And also the internet, how Facebook changed the youth, how the social media is such a violence with the images that are not controlled by the young generation. And we have in Europe, and especially in France, 17 and teenager suiciding because of social media and image that they took, bullying, blackmailing. And this social media at a young age is not controlled, and it's very dangerous, and the way you put it shows how dangerous it is, because they don't even realize, those poor teenagers, they didn't realize what they were doing. And I think all the complexity, there is no bad, no good, and everybody's can be understood. So really, I really enjoy this film, and congratulations, really, it's a beautiful film. I will stop here because I'm sure a lot of people would have to say something. So I don't want to be long, but I want to congratulate you with my heart.
Thank you, Fabian.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Fabian. At any point, Prithvi, you want to come in and respond, you're most welcome. Yeah. So just to quickly get in my own response to the film, after watching it last night, I felt so compelled. I felt I have to write about it, and I've written a couple of very short paragraphs on Facebook. But the thoughts that came crowding, my mind after watching this film was, I kept thinking of films like Chola and Oli Divasate Kali, where the Malayalam films, in fact, I also messaged a couple of friends after that. I mean, just to think of how what one could easily see as minor misdemeanors kind of become so major, get blown out of proportion. It's like, a volley of events unfolding, and the whole event getting blown out of proportion. At one level, it seems that no one, is responsible. But you're also, I thought, very strongly, subtly here and there, fixing responsibility, allowing us to make our own judgments about the characters. I thought that has come very, very well. You've not overstated things, but we can draw our own conclusions about Sita's flip-flop. Where is it coming from? Things like that. And also at every level, I kept thinking, Rohit Vemula was also at the back of my mind. I kept thinking, my God, this is how we in educational institutions, react. So it looks like students come with something and then we need to counter it. So we'll come up with whatever is at our, is available to us to counter it. And then we don't really see the consequences of it. And very often we also find ourselves, making decisions and taking actions which are completely disproportionate and uncalled for. So in a way, as someone in educational institutions, it was really heartbreaking, to watch this film, to see the errors of omission and commission of teachers, of people like us who are part of this institution. And I agree with Nandini. One thing I did immediately after watching your film, I kept messaging everyone I know and saying, please watch this film. All of us in higher education, teachers, students really need to watch this film and maybe talk about it. It's also a film certainly that will go into my class. Thank you very much for making such a wonderful film, Prithvi. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah. Anyone else would like to come in now? Please unmute.
May I?
Yes, Lal Mohan. Please go ahead. Yes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. And first of all, I would like to thank Nikhila for recommending me this film, which I watched today itself, and I immediately texted her back on how I felt. I'm not going to add to the heap of praises that have already been showered on the filmmaker, and I congratulate him in every sense of the term. But I have one question, and this is in line with the kind of reflection that has been made in this session. So I think two people mentioned how it has a documentary-like feel, and I was able to get that that sense of realism which was coming there in the scenes. So the conversations were protracted, and I liked that aspect. But something that I found jarring was the melodramatic soundtrack, and it at times felt like that realist grain was getting a bit sidetracked because of the melodramatic tune. So I would like the director to reflect on that, or comment on that as to why did he choose that kind of a soundtrack, background score. Thank you.
Well, the original version of the film actually didn't have any music. Music was added later only for the theatrical release, because we needed something to make it go a little faster, the pace of the film. We even cut short some 7 minutes of the film from the original version and added background music. No, with regards to background music, we have some challenges because of the budget and other constraints. And it's also difficult for me because I don't really see film in terms of music. So many people do that, I don't. So for me, personally it becomes difficult to actually give directions to a music composer. I can give some directions, but not everything. And at some point, you just have to. You have certain limitations, certain boundaries, and you just have to say, okay, we will go with it, and that's what you do. The original, like I said, the original version which went to film festivals and everywhere else didn't have any music. This was added for the theatrical release only.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Anyone else would like to now come in? Please unmute yourselves. Vijay Boratti.
Good
Yeah.
evening to all of you. I'm Vijay from Mysore. Thanks to Nikhila that I could watch the movie today, and full praises for the director Prithvi Konanur. For two reasons, he deserves a big applause. First one is for making this movie beautiful. Even though we come across such issues in our everyday life, we always indulge in gossiping or rumoring instead of discussing it. So such issues go undebated, undiscussed. But this movie has made it uh, a frontal issue to discuss. And for second reason, he deserves big applause because in the beginning he has not controlled our interpretations. He has let us interpret it in the way we understand it, the way we interpret it. So that way he has given us freedom to read it, interpret in our own way. Like others, like what Nandini was talking about, Fabian was talking about, I also feel that the film tries to bring out the complexity of social and economic issues without slipping into melodrama or far-fetched sensationalism. That's a very important point. And uh, when we say complexity of the film, it would be a truistic statement if we don't bring out the complexity of the movie with examples. I'm not going to give examples taken from the films, but I can generally see that certain issues are complicated and made the complex issues are definitely brought out effectively, so effectively that sometimes you start identifying yourself, your own experiences in a daily life. And sometimes it also makes emotional, especially if we are watching the predicament of Deepa in the film. So issues like innocence, lies, a familial predicament, vulnerability, question of existence, survival, they're all complicated and shown the complexity of these issues in all their shades. And the next point that I found out is that the film successfully, effectively brings out the contradictions and complications of each and every character. Even Deepa, the main character with whom we identify, with whom we sympathize at the end of the movie, is also shown vulnerable. She is not shown as if she is the only victim. She is completely victimized in the movie. She is also shown as a character who is vulnerable when she was asked by another character to hide her age certificate. And that actually brings some sort of tragic end to Deepa's character. Other characters, their contradictions are brought out effectively, and that's why one of the reasons why we should watch it, we should recommend it to others, is that it brings out the contradictions effectively, convincingly, and sometimes what should we say, touching our heart also. So I just wanted to say these views. That's it. Thank you, Nikhila.
Thank you, Vijay. Anyone else would like to comment now? Sanjay, Ajanta, Kavya, anyone?
I have one question for Prithvi. Can you tell us also, when you respond, a bit about the actors? I mean, are they professional? Was it their workshopping? If you could just tell us a bit about the process as well.
See, we did the casting during the lockdown actually. So everybody, all the characters were cast through online auditions. Meaning, I didn't actually do it live, but they recorded a video in their own space, in their own privacy, and then they shared the videos with me, and that's how they were selected. Most of them. Of course, some of them were from my previous films. I knew what they were capable of, and I cast them in specific roles. But the lead characters, the main supporting actors, they were all cast through online auditions. Because it was the lockdown, there were interests from different parts of the world actually to audition. I mean, people were jobless, that's why they auditioned. I'm not saying they expected anything out of this, the audition, and because we go for live sound, I need only Kannadigas to act in the film. So many of them were ruled out at the beginning itself. Many of the interests were ruled out. Even even Kannadigas from US, UK wanted to audition, and they did audition also. But anyway, these were the people who got selected. Of course, the two lead roles, those actors were they were college students. They passed out after that. College as in not PU. I definitely wanted two people who were above 18, not below 18. So they were 19 and 20 or something like that. And others, I think for Rekha Kudlege, who plays vice president, this is the first film or second film, I'm not sure. Maybe this is the first film, but got released later. I'm not sure. Maybe she can tell us better. Mostly others were, of course, the one who plays the lawyer, the girl's lawyer. She is a professional actor, and of course, the parents of the boy, they are both professional actors. Apart from the three others, you cannot really say that they are professional actors. Either they were first timers, or some of them had acted only in my previous films. Like the girl's mother, she had acted in Pinky Ellie. So it was easy for me to, because luckily we found the girl from the same region. It was easy for me to cast her. And yeah, and of course the lawyer for the boy's lawyer, of course, he is a very well-known actor. He has acted in a number of films and television serials. Apart from that, yeah, like mostly either they are non-actors or first timers looking for more opportunities in the future. So this is the whole process of this was the whole process of casting the actors.
What about Deepa's mother?
Yeah, Deepa's mother, she had
She
acted
was
in
so
film
good.
Clearly.
Okay, she
She had
was
played a major supporting role in that film.
excellent. She was excellent.
Yeah, and by the way, for Pinky Ellie, she was nominated for the Critics' Choice Award. Critics' Choice Award is the it's given for films across different languages in India. For it got released in 2023. For 2023, of all the Kannada films, of all the actors, technicians, she was the only nomination, by the way, for Best Supporting Actress.
Just very quick, if I can, Nikhila.
Yeah,
I
sure,
just want
please.
to also know, because the nuance really, it comes out in the acting. It's expressed through the acting as much as the script and the whatever. So what kinds of processes did you all have? I mean, were there discussions on the issue, and how did you take the actors through this? Because what was very striking, and since many of us have been college teachers, we know there are very hard positions on these kinds of issues, but here you actually see confusion, you see this concern also, at the same time not really, hands are tied by the management. It's very true. So I was just wondering how you took all of them through their roles, especially the
We do
younger
rehearsals.
one, like Deepa. I mean, she's just absolutely brilliant. And how did you take them through these complex roles?
See, first of all, half of your work is done when you do the right casting. The rest of the half is done before the shoot, actually, before, as in like 15-20 days before the shoot commences. You do a lot of rehearsals. During that process, you discuss everything, even every dialogue, everything. Of course, when you're doing rehearsals, everything comes into the open, and whatever works, what doesn't work, we manage at that stage. Because you can't do that. See, for me, rehearsal is like it's a necessity, because we don't have the luxury of a big budget. So that means we have to finish everything within a fixed budget. There is absolutely no room for error. So that means we have to be prepared as much as possible, just to save money, if not for any other reason. And for that, we do rehearsals. And I do it for all my films, and that's how we did for this also. So we do rehearsals, and then we go for the shoot.
And I was just wondering, how did you get this story? I mean, you and Anupama Hegde are credited as the writers of the film. So where is this story coming from? Maybe you could talk about that.
Well, see, generally an idea or something stays in your mind. If it impresses you and you feel that, okay, there is a story to be told, it stays in your mind. Then the question is, how do you explore it? Where do you take it? A part of it comes from imagination, from your own imagination, but that doesn't do justice. Then so you will have to do research. So yeah, that's basically, see, generally an idea stays in your mind for a long period of time. Oh, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, sometimes years. And it just doesn't go away. It stays there. You have to do it. You have to deal with it. At least say, even if I don't make the film, I have to make sure that I write it. And even if I throw it away, that's fine. But I have to write it. Even if I don't get the budget, if I don't get the money to make that film, that's perfectly fine. But if I don't write that story, if I don't write that screenplay, then it doesn't work for me. I have to do that. So that's how most of the screenplays are written, and even this one. And of course, a big part of it comes from research.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to come in now? I think there is some young important person waiting for Prithvi. If anyone wants to ask him a question or quickly respond when he's around, please unmute yourselves and go ahead. Tarakeshwar?
No, there's nothing much to add because everyone has discussed the issues that the film throws up, the narrative. But it was only a loud thinking that why Prithvi Konanur's films are not much discussed and widely in media, and some kind of publicity is not available. I heard that the reason for putting it up on YouTube was also that OTTs refused to take it. So I think this is a serious issue that when there are good films, why, unlike other film cultures, Kannada films, those there are some good films, why we are not able to screen them in OTT or in other places is something that I was wondering. And also the question might also be slightly related to Konanur's belief in his own definition of what is good cinema. Because sometimes when you want it for wider audience, you need to make certain choices, and could be its own conviction about what is good cinema, and then also it could be, as you were saying earlier, about the finance. So there are constraints imposed by the economic factors, whether you, even if you want to do it, you will not be able to do it. So how do we circumvent this is something that I was thinking aloud. Thank you.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on that, Prithvi Konanur? I mean, this is a film that really everyone should watch. So, how come? So, if you,
Can I?
yeah, Kavya, go ahead.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so I think this is a film like everybody who is working in educational institutions should watch. That's what I felt. And what I like the most is about as everybody else was saying, the complex characterization. So there were no black and white characters. It was so complex. So that's what I like the most. And I am also somebody who's working in higher education institutions. Like I could really relate to it, and also most of the time, actually, we are put into this kind of ethical and moral dilemmas. Actually, on the one hand, we know that what is happening is wrong. At the same time, unable to take decisions due to so many other pressures from so many other sides. So actually, I think almost everybody who is working in some kind of education institutions can relate to this reality which we all go through. And I was also thinking about what I found interesting is that I'm not very old a person, but even then, most of the time, we find it very difficult to understand the way these young students and their relation to media, social media, and their understanding about sexuality, body, etc. So something I noticed in the characterization of this boy and the girl is that even though this happened, there is no shame or no, they don't have that dilemma which you might see in an earlier film, that something is leaked, my life is going to end, I have to be ashamed of this. That feeling is not at all there in both of them. So they actually they're more worried about their studies, what will happen to their future, such things, rather than this actually being on a on pornographic side. So that change in attitude towards sexuality and social media in youngsters, I was noticing. So I think that was a conscious decision from your part, to not to put that as a matter of shame for the children. I don't think this generation thinks like that. And but even while leaving all these complexities of the characters and the teachers and all that, at the end it is the little girl who suffers. Whatever else happens, whatever else is happening, at the end she suffers, nobody else. So that's where it ends. Yes, like it's a must watch movie. I think like it should be used as a pedagogic tool, like when you, even for teachers training, something like B.Ed programs or for other programs, is something which we can use as a teaching tool also. That's what I was thinking while I was watching it.
Thanks.
Nikhila?
Yeah, thanks. Sorry.
Nikhila,
Yeah.
may I make a quick observation?
Yeah. And then I think Prithvi will also respond. Yes, please go ahead, Vijay.
Prithvi, I was wondering, this film deserves plus for another reason. This is related to how private institutions are a hotbed of social issues. So far, we have been watching or we have been hearing about what's happening in government institutions or public sector. And public sector or public institutions are criticized, attacked for having social issues so much that they are seen as a place where only casteism exists. But this film makes it very clear at a time when private universities are coming up in large number. This film brings out a very important point that even caste issues can be very visible, very, what should I say, hitting in private institutions also. Whenever, I mean, the film clearly makes it a point to show how the management is hand in glove with complicating the situation for both the boy and the girl, and how the issue remains unresolved even at the end of the film. So it's a welcome move by you to focus on private institutions. Private institutions are always seen as alternative to public institutions in the present time, because public institutions are always criticized for being the hotbed of burning social issues. So private institutions cannot be exceptions in the present day. So in that way, your film makes it very clear that we should focus on what's happening in private institutions, academic institutions. So thanks to you for that, notice.
Okay, thank you very much, Vijay, for flagging that point. Amala, you can go ahead. And sorry, Prithvi, I know I should let you go, but we'll just listen to
No, it's
Amala.
okay. There were no questions. It's okay. They're just comments. No issues.
Okay, but Tarakeshwar, you might want to respond to Tarakeshwar.
Professor Nicola, can I come in for a short intervention?
Okay, sure. Yes. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Of course, I will not take much time. I endorse all the views expressed here about that film, about this film. But one point I want to tell is, maybe my view is very subjective. Might be because I'm an ardent aficionado of slow cinema. I expected some pauses, some silence in the film for the viewers to internalize the emotions played out. And somehow that I felt that this aspect was missing in the film. Thank you.
Okay. Prithvi, you can respond and then Amala can
No,
come in. Is
nothing.
that
See, you
okay,
can
Amala?
always do introspection after you watch the film.
I still have the question from the beginning. What is the plot line about the board
One,
president?
one,
Who
one
has-
minute,
The board
Rashmi.
okay, the
Rashmi
board
will come back
president.
to you.
Sorry.
Amala, please go ahead. She has messaged me. Please go ahead. Then we'll come back to Rashmi and Prithvi.
Yeah, I would really like to congratulate Prithvi and his team for this really very gripping film. And I think it just completely takes you in. And
Amala, you're muted. Amala, you're muted. Yeah.
so you can hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was saying that I really felt that the film is really very gripping, and it really brings out the, how caste really is so, we are so ingrained with the casteism, even though we don't know it. I mean, this is such an issue which is now coming out more and more, but and people are in a state of denial, but for most of us, caste is a it's very alive, and it's not going to go away. I think you bring that out very well. The film is, I feel that it's very honest and very well made. uh, uh, I really congratulate the entire team. The performances are splendid. uh, I just felt that the film is real, like the characters are all real. They were not performing, they were just being themselves. And the film for me was primarily about caste, but later I felt the film really hurries into a sort of a, going into the inadequacies of the entire system, the fallacies of all the characters, which is also beautiful, but I felt that it was very hurried. So that is one thing that I really strongly felt, and I can go more into it, but maybe we don't have that much time. But I also felt that the setting, the way the film unfolds, everything is it's really done very well. One more thing was that I just felt sometimes that the sound of the school, sometimes it used to permeate into the boardroom, the principal's room. uh, it was interesting, but at the same time, it was also pretty noticeable and imposing at times. Uh, yeah, so I really want to congratulate you once again. Uh, yeah, thank you.
That's the sound designer speaking. Yeah. So, yes, Rashmi, please go ahead. You were talking about the point that you made in the beginning.
No, I just am curious about the plot line, about what really was the motive for the board president to take Deepa out. That's left unanswered.
Well, I would
Is it
prefer
just
that it remains unanswered, because let it be, your own. Let people interpret the way they want. If I had the opportunity to make a sequel, then even then I cannot promise that I would have probably given an answer to that, but I had the opportunity to explore it even more. Because see, when you have definite answers, then it's just, I mean, see, there is a reason why you have definite answers in slightly more commercial films, because you want an audience, you want a closure and an ending to the story to an audience, because that's the only way he will pay you. He will pay you more money. He'll buy ticket and he'll watch the film. But here it's better to have these questions and let people bring in their own interpretations. I think that's better for such films. I think that's better.
Yeah, Pratik, I think had raised his hand. Pratik, please go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you to talking films online for this discussion. I came to know about Prithvi sir's work through Bhardwaj Rangan's review and his interview, roundtable interview, then his personal interview, then his review on 17ers. There also he mentions about the pace of the film. So I would like to ask questions related to that. But before that, I want to understand your screenwriting process. And in the film, I felt that at the end of Act One, so it was kept little low pace, quite low pace. Bhardwaj Rangan mentions it deliberate. I wanted to understand your process, and then after that, I don't know which structure did you follow, because the second act and the third act is quite tight and with great pace and bringing multiple perspectives. So I also wanted to understand whether do you follow heroes' journeys or do you break the structure? What is your conversation between you and your co-writer? And also one thing which you beautifully do is that you don't bring in your own politics as a writer in the film, which is so rare because we generally see that writers are trying to stress their own politics in a lot of at a lot of occasions. So how did you stay away of that? Do you witness, was it a writer's choice, or is it your personality that your lifestyle is such that you try to stay away from this?
Well, not really. See, we all live in a real world, so we all have our own leanings and preferences. But when you're writing, say again, like I said, each script, each story is different. I mean, the way I approach this film that will not be the approach for another script or another film. It will be different. I mean, see, here there was a point. I mean, the point was to make it keep it open for individuals to interpret the way they want. And see, their interpretation, sometimes I may not like it, but I still welcome it. It's fine. There are some very extreme interpretations of these films. I have seen that, which is fine actually. Actually, there is a section of Brahmins who are very angry, and there is also a section of Dalits who are very angry with the film. So that shows that I've done the right thing. If you don't upset anyone, then your film is just. I mean, maybe for the sake of making money, if you're making a film, then yes, it will definitely work. But otherwise, it's a good thing. Writing process, see, you just have to get your craft right. That's it. No matter, see, it doesn't matter what you're writing, whether you're writing a completely commercial potboiler or if you're writing a very, whatever the word you want to use it, you want to use to describe it as, I would call it as just serious film. It doesn't matter what it is. If as long as your craft, you have a good control over your craft, you can do that. You can write an fast-paced action film as well as a very serious drama. So it's just to have that control and understanding of the craft. There is no other there is no other fun or romantic answer to that. And screenplay itself is a big thing. I mean, I can't really discuss it in a few minutes. It takes even to understand, to get that craft. Some people have worked for years actually. So that's it. I will just tell you that the secret of any writing, any good writing, is craft.
Yeah. Anyone else who wants to come in? And Prithvi, at any point in time, if you feel that there are other important things to which you must get back to, you're
Yes,
most
like I said, I
welcome.
would prefer that people have different understandings, different. So I will not say, I will not, even if I don't like it, even if I don't agree with it, I won't say anything. That's fine. There is nothing wrong in that.
No, I was just worried about the WhatsApp conversation we had. So you had said that you have to get away. Tarakeshwar, yes, please go ahead.
No, this is about Prithvi's response. Though he didn't answer me directly, but he is answering it. That yes, we are not asking you to make money, but there's a difference in reaching out to the larger audience and then the making money. So is it possible to make the distinction between the two? Still, you don't have to make money, but still you can reach to the larger audience.
Well, when you're reaching wider audience, you're definitely making money. I'm not against making money. I want to make money also. That's not the point. The point is when you do that, then you will be losing out on certain things. So, see, that's if your intention is to reach wider audience, then it begins at the very fundamental stage, the very idea which you want to explore to be turned into a screenplay, to be made into a film. That's where it starts. I can't take this idea and think that I will make a film that will reach a lot of. I want to, but I understand the ecosystem, how it works. So I would, if I really want to reach wider audience, which I want to, and I will be doing such films also in the future, then you will know what kind of, when I make such films, you will know what kind of subjects I take and what kind of treatment I give to such, subjects.
We'll keep waiting for those films.
Anyone else? Madhurima?
Yeah, most of the things that I liked about the film, those are already been talked about, but still I can say what I liked about the film. One of the first responses that I had while watching the film and after ending the film was that I was extremely angry with the entire system. And as a person who, I just passed that age, that is my near past, like I am 24 now. So I passed this late, like 18 to 22 just recently. So I could relate to many of the things and how the authorities handle the situation also. And how Rashmi ma'am has explained the film with hard experiences as a teacher. I really like the way she explained it. So a few of the things that I liked in the film or that I can comment on is how the authorities, they don't take into consideration how the decision is going to affect the individual students. So while Hari has the economic capital to pursue his studies without even attending the school classes, while he is given the permission to do so, Deepa doesn't have the privilege. So their decision is not fair to both of the students, while that should be the main motto of the academic institution. And the other point that I thought is the idea of meritocracy. So in one of the places, the previous principal, he says that we formed the committee to discuss about the merits. That was the subtitle. I don't know the Kannada version of it. So for the same incident, that is the leaking of the video, they are using other parameters to judge the merit. But they're also ignoring the differences that exist in terms of class and caste of the individuals, which require different standards to be used for the two individuals. And the use of the same standards that actually positions the girl inevitably at a disadvantageous position. And one of the other things I liked about the film is it brings to the forefront the unconscious ways in which caste discrimination operates. So the later principal, who is actually Brahmin by caste, she didn't even probably think about the fact that the board president and all, they're thinking in terms of caste. So when she later thinks about it, then she understands the intricacies of caste discrimination. And the other point that Rashmi ma'am has already made is that the comment on the personal relationship on Deepa and Hari, that is quite interesting. So throughout the movie, if we notice it, when it comes to taking a stand, Hari never stands for the girl, and his stances are always mediated by his parents' choices. And while the girl attempts to protect the boy till the end, even though she gets to know that Hari is responsible for the whole leaking of the video. Yeah, that is most of the comments that I had for the film, but it was a really interesting film for me. Thank you, ma'am.
Well, just one, just so we get, see what happens is when we're watching a film, sometimes and especially when the story is very complicated, we might miss out on some things. Well, Hari, see, like I said, if I had the opportunity to make a sequel, I could have explored even even further consequences. Like, did Hari really leak the video? I mean, he said he shared it with somebody. But was that the reason why the video got leaked? I mean, see, the problem is we look at things the way, it's the way we see it. But what's behind the scene is something that we have to think. I mean, at least I as a writer, I have to think. So did Hari really leak the film? I mean, he did share the film with somebody, but was that the reason the film got leaked, or was there something else? These are just questions. I'm not giving you any answers because I don't have an answer. I mean, if I was in the process of making a sequel, then I would have explored all these questions. But now that there is no plan to make a sequel. It's dropped. So these are just questions. The questions that the other questions that you should probably be just considering while watching this film.
If I may add to that.
Yes,
May
yes,
I?
please go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
also connects to Kavya's response earlier about how both of them are not at all worried about what the video is doing to their lives at all, but totally occupied with volleyball or what happens to my engineering seat and stuff. And it's increasingly becoming, as you said, it's like this is something that when we speak about digital media are aware of certain things. While these youngsters, not just youngsters, even us, while we want to be visible on this social media or digital media, what we do not understand is like how once we put something out there, it's completely out of your control. And the way it gets shared, for example, or even these people, it's like with youngsters, I often see with CCTV around, with cameras around, they're not even aware of like, okay, we are being caught by camera. There is something else of me that is going in. So they're not aware of it. It becomes a part of their lives in a way that was not available to us millennials, for example, or even the generation before us. So for them, there is nothing not unusual about any of these things that they're doing. It's completely fine. I did a video with my boyfriend, and we did it together, and what happened to it is like it's completely normal thing. So these people are kind of reacting in a way that they shouldn't be reacting. That seems to be the message also. It's like when the way things are, even though there are guilt-ridden faces, there are there's some slightly that unease about like, okay, this went out of my control, but there isn't that kind of response that we are expecting as people from other generation altogether, different generation. And it happens this way. It's like it's very banal for them. It's nothing unusual about it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, see, from generation to generation, we have seen that. I mean, even my father, he would take it very personally, and he would be insulted if he couldn't pay the electricity bill in time, and something happened. It would be a humiliation. But our generation, we don't care about such things. Okay, there is a fine, we'll pay the fine, and it's not a crime. We'll just pay the fine and we'll do it. And of course, the younger generation are even more, unapologetic about these things. That's what I had said in a couple of interviews also. Actually, I mean, see, again, we cannot say that all of them. I am not putting every single individual in one bracket. That's not what I'm trying to do. But at least in the characters that I have chosen to represent this generation, not as a stereotype, but as an archetype, if you think about it, then they're unapologetic. They don't really think about it as a big deal. In fact, if you don't really have to watch a film, you just have to open the statuses of the youngsters, or the kind of posts that they're sharing on their Instagram or Facebook. You see that they're not they don't look at it as the way our generation used to look at it, or of course our previous generations used to look at it.
Yes, Tarakeshwar, you had unmuted yourself.
Yeah, just to join the debate that is happening now. See, there's some kind of normalization of this quick celebrity status. So it's not seen as a kind of social shame now. In fact, some of the dialogues do reveal that. You put it on net, so that you will be get invited to Big Boss. That's the kind of mentality now. Our generation is, as Rashmi said, is quite different. But the present generation, I think, they know how the other generation is looking at. So they want to avoid the stigma from the other generation. But among that generation, it's fine. They are not worried about what other students. They will giggle for some time and then they will keep quiet. Instead, even some of the students who lock up the teachers, they were on the other side in the beginning, but slowly they moved towards defending the girl. So in that sense, the cinema, as Prithvi was saying, is trying to capture the kind of transition that is happening in our attitude to this kind of things becoming public. So with internet, what is happening with public-private is quite changing compared to our generation. So in that sense, it is interesting. The other point that I wanted to bring in was what Prithvi said. Yes, we use text as a kind of pretext to justify or to question the text based on our own preconceived notions about several things. So we connect the dot because the text is much more open-ended. We try to fill in the gap with our preconceived knowledge. So we make these kind of jumps because there's no clear-cut ending. So we start supplying ending to it. So we start blaming a particular person. We start using that, yes, caste and gender. In fact, the text is trying to say these are more complex issues than simply saying that only girl is suffering. Even the boy is suffering. Though he can go to the private tuition, they are not ready to accept him because they are also worried about the perception. It is not that any of the characters are worried about what has happened. Everybody is worried about what the others are going to say about it. So in that sense, it's quite interesting, both the debate as well as and the text. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Takeshwar. Fabian has a question. Is it old India facing young India? Probably
Yeah,
that's you.
it's a part of it, definitely, no doubt about that. It's a part of it. So yeah.
Okay.
I was listening to somebody from some interview because of all the elections that's going on in US, that's going to happen in US. So somebody said the biggest export of the US is the American dream. Actually, that's true. I mean, this is all part of the American dream. Actually, see, when we look at films, when we look at lives, when we look at the everything. For the entire world, actually, America is the is the role model, rightly or wrongly. That's a different debate. But the reality is that West, the US is it's where we all want to be. I'm not saying we have to go there, but at least to transform our own lives into their lives. The kind of lives that they are having. So when now that with the social media everything is accessible, you can see what's going on there, then it's obvious that we will be moving in that direction. I mean, that's right or wrong, whether we should change it, that's the complete different debate. But if the whole world wants to be there, that means everything, even the teenage life also, is they want to live that life. So that's just one thought.
Okay. If there are no more, Pratik, yes. Yes, Pratik.
So, I wanted to ask about a problem related to shooting. So, what was your experience with the shoot in school? Because it is a sensitive topic, and when you approach the school, did the school had some kind of censorship on your script? Did they ask for the script? And what kind of sensitivity you brought while shooting the film? And congratulations on shooting it so perfectly, because using the extras from the school and running school in the running school you shot the film, so it was so nice. And also the second part of the question is, what was your experience with the center sensor certification?
With respect to school, actually, there were no students when we shot the film. It was just after the lockdown, and the colleges and schools had not started actually. So we didn't have any difficulty as such. I mean, we didn't tell them, we don't tell anybody any locations for that matter. We don't tell them what we are shooting. Nobody tells actually. You just tell them that we are doing this. We're going to pay this, and if they are okay, then they will agree to that. That's it. With censor, we didn't have any problem as such. They wanted, the only thing they wanted was to remove the word Big Boss. Apart from that, there was nothing else.
Okay. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
Narkesh.
just one more, like adding to the earlier discussion that Tarakesh was talked, and Fabian was asking. I don't think it is like old versus young India kind of debate, because the way the parents and teachers also responding to this issue was also not in an earlier mode. Their issue, I think, is also like the parents had the issue that it will affect the future of their children. It's education. For the teachers, it was just a question of reputation. They were actually not, no, I think, considering this has happened and something no morally bad has happened. That was not their attitude. Uh, I think for parents and teachers, it was more a kind of pragmatic issue to be solved. So in that sense, there is an attitudinal change even in parents and teachers. Earlier, like if something like this happens, as you were saying about the electricity, you beat your children, a lot of melodrama, no, something very bad has happened. That was not the attitude. Like they were, to a certain extent, they were composed, I'll say, not an earlier mode of response to this issue.
Yes. See, the mother beating up the boy also happens not because he has done it. So, but because he has told the girl that he might have leaked it. So that's when she becomes angry. Not for committing the act, but committing the act of admitting to the girl that he might have been responsible for leakage of the video. That is quite interesting. That apart, another issue, I think it came up earlier, even when Rashmi spoke, and then Nandini also flagged it, is about the state. So yes, the values and then our attitudes are in transition. And I think this film captures that. But what is the role of the state? Because the state has fixed 18 as the kind of benchmark. And because of that benchmark, all these issues, the court drama, entire thing unravels and gets much more complicated. So this, what is a child, what is an adult, what is an young adult, is a quite interesting thing. I think these issues are coming up increasingly in the court also. Who is a juvenile and who is not a juvenile? Most of these rape incidents also, we see that juvenile, whether what we should do with them, we should try them as adult, whether we should bring it down to 16. A lot of debate is happening. So what role the state should play now with regard to this? In fact, the film, by taking that as the title, 17 or 18, there's HADINELENTU. So that's the crux of the thing. I think the title forecasts this debate. What should be the barrier? How can we decide one particular date, this side or that side, can decide the completely change our attitude to the incident? In that sense, as citizens, how we should look at this state law in these complicated issues. I think that is also need to be discussed thoroughly. Again, using the text as a kind of pretext. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to add to Targeshwar sir's and Kavya ma'am's point that I saw that there was a transitional change in boys' parents, whereas in girl's side, I saw her eldest sister. She was still blaming and using the stereotypical comments. So I feel there was more change, adapt to change in boys' side, and I feel that this will continue in our society, current society, that girls' side will will not be that accepting in next 10 to 20 years, I guess. But what was so warming to see that in the shade which principals and teachers have been presented, they are also uh, in the transitional change space where they are accepting it. So I would say that this film remarkably present the current scenario of and the socio-cultural debate at the moment.
Okay. I think Prithvi has to leave. So if there is anything else that anyone has to add, we can do it after we thank Prithvi. Prithvi, thank you so much for your time. I know it's very unusual for you to be up as late as this and spend your time with us. This is really wonderful that you were able to do it, and we are so happy to have discussed this film in your presence. I'll thank you and let you go. If there's anything else, we can continue our discussion. Others can continue the discussion. Thank you so much, Prithvi.
Well, thank you so much for
Prithvi.
having me.
Thank
And
you.
it's not too late for me at all, but I have to, go for some other thing. That's the reason. So thank you for having me. And I don't know my presence was of any help or not. I mean, for academic, because I'm not an academic, so I don't know if it's of any value to academicians. But because I focus on craft and filmmaking, but so. Anyway, thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone for being a part of this. So please continue, and hope you will have a fruitful conversation.
So
Thank
just
you.
a small clarificatory question. When I wanted to pay for the film through the phone pay, I guess. So some name Santosh or some name was
Yeah, that's our co-producer.
okay, sure. So I'll pay it today, and I'll request others to do the same.
Yes, certainly. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Prithvi.
Yes, thank you, Prithvi. Yeah, okay. Bye. Thank you so much. Yeah. Any other points
Thank
that
you.
anyone else who didn't get a chance to make? Nandini, you unmuted yourself. Please go
I
ahead.
was just saying thank you to him. I'm a bit
Oh.
surprised at this whole Americanization narrative that, I mean, it was a little bit of a letdown after seeing the film. But it's one that is very prevalent, I think, and maybe it's just, anyway, I'm glad it's not in the film, that's all.
Yeah. Any other points to be made? Okay. If there's nothing else, thank you all for joining this discussion tonight. We'll meet next Saturday at 9 p.m. So it's not at 8:30 next Saturday. We are back to our 9 p.m. For the discussion of yet another Kannada film. Do join us then, and have a happy weekend. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good
Thank you.
night.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
See you next week.
Thank you. So